Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So I think it's been 2 weeks since the last session that we were talking about. But today we would like to talk about confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So firstly, Hazel, how would you define confidence?
Oh, that's a difficult one. I guess confidence, it's changed for me. I know I usually say things like this, but it actually has changed in the last, say maybe 5, 10 years. So I used to think that confidence was when you were maybe able to talk in front of people and show maybe just like speak in front of people and not feel uncomfortable or shy, or um, maybe be able to stand up in front of a room and do a presentation or on stage and sing a song, just like really being brave. But over the years, I realized it's only that's outward confidence, and for me, it's changed because I wasn't that brave. I used to be able to stand up when I was a little girl and stand on stage and do like poetry and recital, probably up until the age of 10. And then as I got older, I got more shy. But I think now what I would say confidence is more an inner feeling, a feeling of well-being, like feeling good about who you are, no matter where you are, what you're doing. So um, it's a long definition because I'm trying to think about it as we're talking.
Yeah.
So I guess I would say my confidence has been more me now accepting myself for who I am, being able to be forgiving to myself when I don't get things right, being able to just be me in any situation without trying to prove myself or compare with anyone, and just acceptance of myself and be more loving towards myself. So I'd say that's more how I see my confidence have developed. And so I don't have a definition for confidence, but I think your confidence evolves over time in terms of self-acceptance.
So what do you think the confidence, how it changed for you over the time?
It's changed over time. I think how has confidence changed for me over time? I think because I realized over time, and maybe that's through just self-development, reading more, doing more training, more program, getting feedback from other people about like, oh wow, you're really good at this, you really we really like who you are. And I think it took a while for me to understand, well, I didn't really do that much. And so it's changed over time, realizing that my confidence was more because I was just my natural self. So I was able to accept people and just be myself around people. And when I noticed that I didn't have to do anything to perform, to try and get acceptance or get people's attention. And actually, there must be something about me. And I started asking myself, what is it about me that people like? And then people would say, well, we like your, I remember people saying they like my smile. There's something about me that when people are around me, they're quite relaxed, and they're able to just be open and talk without feeling judged. So I realized that it's just something in me that I'm not judging people. I'm very accepting. And the more I realized that I had an impact on people, but also I started thinking, okay, well, I'm good enough. But also I think I was also interested in me learning that I didn't have to do anything or prove myself. I just have to accept who I am. But it took time. So I think confidence is that easy to talk about, and I don't think it's like it's static. I think it changes over time. How what's been your experience? Well, first of all, what would you say confidence is, and what's been your experience of confidence?
So I think it's first of all, I would think it's self-belief, very similar to what you said. It's like having this conviction that I'm okay just as a human being. but
Mhm.
it wasn't like that all the time. And I was super shy when I was a child, super shy.
Mhm.
Like I remember even to the point when I was entering the job market, it was really difficult for me to ask for things, or I don't know. For example, if you were to enter an office and you had to knock, I found it really difficult to do things like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
But obviously, you're kind of like, you do need to push yourself when you're that kind of person, because
Mhm.
you will lose tremendously if you won't teach yourself to do certain
Mhm.
things. That's just a given. And so I've taught myself. So I'm kind of like a more open now, and I try things in a different way.
Mhm.
I very often I actually push myself to do things just because when I feel something, oh, I'm kind of like shaky, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. I'll do it anyway, just to prove myself
Yeah.
that I can do it, and it doesn't have to be perfect, whatever. But I'll just do it. So it has changed a lot.
Mhm.
I do believe, yeah, it's not a static thing. So there might be times in your life or even days where you don't feel
Mhm.
confident, and that's okay. Like I don't have to
Mhm.
feel confident all the time. There are days that I don't know, the weather is not like that, whatever, and whatever we want it or not, it will impact us at some
Mhm.
level. And
Mhm.
then I'm okay being confident just under my blanket.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine too. So it
Mhm.
has changed a lot for me. um, I I think it comes with the age when you're like, oh, I don't
Mhm.
care that much anymore uh, about what other people say about me. And I always envy that, because like when I started working, I worked a lot with much. I was the youngest person in
Mhm.
my team, so I was like 19. Everybody was like maybe 30, 40, whatever. um, and I always envied um, women who were able to speak up, who,
Mhm.
you know and it's not even like I didn't have to agree with everything they were saying, but I love that they had the conviction and they were talking, no, it's like this way or whatever. So for me it's
Mhm.
a big factor of being confident and comfortable with who you are and what you believe.
Yeah. And it's interesting because you look at, I suppose when you think about confidence in terms of performance, when you look at there's a lot of people who are performers like singers, actors, and when you speak to them, they say they're not that confident.
Hmm.
But when they get on stage, something shifts in them where they then become that, I don't know, that bold and daring, but they're very inside. They're actually very they lack confidence. They have put this the self doubt is really low, and so it's almost of the time I think we get carried away by thinking that's confidence. But it's really interesting. What both of us are saying is that confidence is something that grows and develops inside of you. The more you become comfortable within yourself, the more you accept yourself, and the more you stop maybe looking to see what other people think about you, or to starting maybe comparing yourself or judging yourself based on what other people think, then you something shifts, doesn't it?
Hmm.
And I think that's quite important because maybe people are listening, they might be kind of thinking, okay, it's okay for you, but it's not always, you're not always confident like all the time. I think certain situations you probably feel more confident and at ease, and some situations will take time to adjust. So
Hmm.
like I've just moved into a new area, completely different area from London, and beautiful, but I know it's going to take time. So my confidence is more about, okay, where, how am I going to find the shops? I'm looking for a church, I'm looking for like, lots of different things around me that would make me feel comfortable. And it's just like feeling really wobbly, feeling a bit like not sure of myself, not sure if I should go that area, and kind of not wanting to. At first, I was thinking, well, I don't really want it to bring too much attention to myself. But then after a couple hours, I'm like, actually, no, I belong here. So I had to remind myself that this is my new home. I have to adapt and adjust. But I
Mhm.
think, like you, there were times when I was probably younger, I would probably be too shy to even like go on a different street. I would just road every time. I wouldn't even take the risk to try a different route or a different street because I didn't want to maybe one get too much attention to myself or to come out of my comfort zone. So I
Mhm.
think the more you take risk by just doing it everywhere when you're feeling scared, the more your confidence develops and the more you feel good about yourself and you just don't give a shit. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I said the S word, but you just don't give a shit, really, do you?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I would actually also like to mention about there will be situation where, yeah, as you mentioned, for example, with that move, but in women's life, that we might not, we might feel that our confidence is going down. So I would
Mm,
think like, when you changing roles. So, for example, if you're becoming a mother, that
mhm,
would be one stage, or if there's any kind of like a major shift in life, definitely will have impact on your confidence, because
mm,
some of you are not fully what you've been before. You have to readjust, relearn new skills,
mhm. Yeah,
and it
yeah,
takes a while, um, and that's okay. I think it's just to remember that you've learned that before. On some occasion, like, we are super flexible in terms of,
mm,
like, human beings can adjust tremendously to so many situations. We can see that even now with COVID. Um, that it will be okay over the time.
yeah. And as you were saying that, I was thinking about like the stage that I'm in my life now because my daughter's in their early 20s. I say to my friends, I've finally left home because I feel like the teenager that's left home. So I've moved on, like we've decided to like, I'm gonna stay in one location. I moved to a different location because of the stage of my life. So I kind of feel like I'm the one who's just left home to go to university or something. But and I have that luxury. And it actually wasn't, I was quite emotional when we thought about it. And that all the changes, and even the couple of days before when I was packing, I was thinking, oh my gosh, have I made the right decision? Is this the right thing for me? So I wobble a bit with my confidence. But I knew deep down it was the right thing because I had all the signs along the way that says it's the right thing, and I had the feeling inside. But I was thinking about women who are in abusive relationship, um, or or maybe even in, and that doesn't necessarily have to be in their relationship with their partner. It could be a job, in their job where their boss is quite abusive and controlling,
Mhm.
um, or maybe that person who is around really abusive and controlling friends, where you get hurt, you're told by the person who's controlling abusive that you're not good enough. Look at you, you're too ugly, you're too fat, you're too this, nobody would want you, things like that. Who's going to want you, the way you look, or even single mothers who've had children, have been told by
Mhm.
their partners, like, no man is going to want you anymore. So
Yeah.
all those things really affect your self-confidence.
Mhm.
And I mean, to be honest, when I did decided to leave my marriage many years ago, that was one of the things my ex said to me, like, nobody wants a woman with 2 children. So I mean, I was quite, that didn't bother me because I was thinking that's the last thing I want right now is a man in my life. There's more to life than just relationships, so I didn't care about that. But some people, it would affect them, and
Mhm.
so yes, it's very difficult to leave situation like that, and to remind yourself and to build your confidence.
Mhm.
So I think it's important to really connect to maybe just one thing that you know that you're good at,
Mm-hmm.
and just really focus on that one thing,
Mm-hmm.
because that's going to be like the spark of light that helps you to get back into regaining a confidence again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like when you are in such an environment that tries to bring you down, it's kind of
Mhm.
like a programming going on in your head, and you start slowly to believe it. The worst thing, even if you have the best intention to get out of the situation, it might be more difficult
Mhm.
because you will your behavior and your actions will correspond to what is going on in your head. So very
Mhm.
often I know that there are women, as you mentioned, like single women, that they might have a potential to maybe become in a very happy in next relationship, but they don't know any better, so they will do things to kind of like stop it from
Mhm.
happening. um,
Mhm.
so that's very important. I think it requires a lot of self work to
Mhm.
overcome this, but it is possible. um, but it's like nearly everyday work just to kind of like program yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
it is okay, even though like I'm this and that, I could be fat, whatever. Like I know, at the end of the day, for example, when it comes to the relationship, many men don't care if you're fat, ugly,
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
They have different priorities, so it's not about that. There's so many,
Yeah.
yeah, there's so many
Yeah.
models. They are just beautiful, whatever, or even like super, like women that have highly paid jobs and beautiful and whatever, and they cannot have happy
Mhm.
relationship. But so it's not really something that will predict your happiness.
No. And I think it's important to just remember before you were in that situation, like the times when you were feeling confident about yourself, or that someone said something really positive about you. I was just thinking of a case that sorry, a client last week that I worked with, and she is a top designer in her job, but the job has changed so much. So she had a passion for design. She's very good at it. And then over the last 20 something years, they've become more corporate. So she started working for this corporate organization who focuses on tells them what to do, and she doesn't have the creative. I don't know, the license is the word, but she doesn't have that. She can't just make decisions about creativity anymore, because creativity comes naturally,
Yeah.
especially if you're a designer. But now they're being told, this is someone makes a decision and then they have to fit into the box. So there's no freedom to design. And she was talking, and I remember asking about her, saying like, sounds like you've kind of lost your soul or something like that, something along that line. And for her, that was the word that I said. She said it was that comment about her soul, because she realized that she lost that confidence to be creative, to be joyful, and just to be free in her work, because she was trying to fit into the organizational context, and only because she was scared of her job, scared of losing her job,
Hmm.
scared of not having money to pay the mortgage. So it's quite real. And there are times when people would dangle that carrot in front of us to say, well, if you don't do this, well, you're not going to get this, or you're not going to do that. But by her reminding herself in that moment that, you know what, this is not me. This is not who I am. There was a time when I actually would stand up to that boss and say, you know, go to wherever. What has become of me? So she started questioning herself. It doesn't mean she's been job, but she's started to question and to find ways to reconnect back to her passion again.
Hmm.
And maybe eventually she might leave the job. But the first thing was really about, let me remind myself that I'm not this person. I'm not happy. My soul needs more food than just fitting into the organization, and I need to find a way. to find my voice again.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's just one little thing that you need to do. You don't have to do a lot of things to get your confidence back. Like you said, it's going to take time,
Mhm.
but at least if you can acknowledge that, I'm not happy right now, then that's a step towards, I guess, the beginning of regaining confidence.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I think it's also the shift in the mindset. So,
Mm-hmm.
when people are saying, fake it until you make it, it's not like
Mm-hmm.
really faking it, but just getting into the habit that I'm confident. Just
Mm-hmm.
train your body, your mind, and everything just to feel confident, because very often we want to feel confident at first,
Mm-hmm.
but more we show up as we are confident, will everything will pick up. So like, it's like with this manifestation thing, it's really you have
Mm-hmm.
to train yourself first, and then
Yeah.
it will come eventually to you.
Yeah. And that might mean just putting, my daughters used to laugh at me when they were younger because in my house, I put stuff on the wall like I am confident, I am strong, I am this, I am that. And so every day I would see it. And I remember when we moved to another house and I didn't put them up. And one of my younger said, Mom, why have you stopped putting up the things on the wall? Because I didn't realize that although they were laughing, they were getting something from it. So now I noticed that they don't necessarily put stuff on the wall, but they've got like journals and they've got
Yeah.
pictures and stuff that tells them about what they want to do. So it's quite powerful, just that in terms of the affirmation and manifestation, even if you don't believe it. But the more you say it every day, the more it starts to sink in and integrate inside of you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What really worked for me is also like, I love letters, like writing letters to my future self,
Yes.
and getting into the habit of like, reading it every day. It really works miracle. I know
Yeah.
people might think, oh, this is crazy idea. Maybe this, but it works.
Yeah. No, it works. And I know, I mean, I agree. I've done that as well. And even when my daughters were doing their exams, their GCSE, I got them to do that. Like to
Really,
say,
that's very good.
yeah, write their grades, predicted grade, and say, how would you feel when you open the letter on the day of your exams? So, and it does work. But then sometimes you have to do the crazy thing to get changes. So
Mhm.
I don't mind if people say I'm crazy. It works. And
Because you're confident.
yeah, because I'm confident. And some maybe you have to be crazy to get your confidence back. I don't know. But it's a powerful tool. I agree.
Hmm. Isn't
Mhm.
it maybe that we have to kind of like look at ourselves from a side, nearly?
Mhm.
Like, don't perceive ourselves as this, like, whatever. Oh, yeah, this is just part of my personality.
Yeah. Well, say a bit more. What did you mean?
So, what I mean is just like being more observer of our own life,
Mm.
what is going
Mm.
on, instead of just like
Ah.
being pushy and trying to be this or and that. Because even with the manifestation itself, what I find is like very often we're obsessed about certain result that we
Mhm.
want, and if it's
Mm.
not happening in exact way, then our confidence might be lost.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
um, I'd say we are kind of like losing certain things, just because like, it doesn't mean that certain things won't happen in the future for us.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
maybe there's something that, the universe is giving us
Mhm.
outside of what we thought was available.
Yeah. 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 I like that. And I was just thinking about that in I've seen that a lot in my own life as well. Because they say that, sometimes you're right, you're so focused and this is what it should be, but you have to be able to let go and not be so fixed and rigid and trust that other things will come. So I guess you're right. So that being an observer means that you trust that good things will come into your life and be open to change and to maybe attracting different things. I'm laughing because I'm thinking I that's what happened to me with this house. I was very fixed. I'm sure I remember I was saying to you, I want to be to live in the city center of where I moved in East Sussex, and because I was just thinking I want to be in the bars. I'm like, I love my quiet and calm, but I just want to be there and another energy. But then um, when which sometimes I get dreams, and the dreams, I mean, I think that's what prophetic dreams. I'm not a prophet, but I call them prophetic dreams because it tells me about my future. And that dream, I had this dream, and then the name of the place that I'm living in came in the dream. And I was like, I am not moving to that place. I was just having this conversation with God. I am not moving to that place. I'm moving there. And I got really upset the next day. But in the dream, the name was, I heard the name, and then the name was shouted so loudly that I had to pay attention. So I got up and wrote it down in my journal. And and okay, I thought, okay, I'm not going to argue because if it's just from the universe, why would I argue with this? Because every time when a change have come in my life, positive things, I do get dreams. So what happened in the end is that I couldn't find anywhere, and then I said a house found me because someone contacted me and said, "We have a house for you to look at. It's never been on the market. Would you like to see?" And the house was right in the location that was in my dream. So I knew, and I I wasn't looking for this kind of space, this house, this location, but it's actually way better, like 100 times better than where I was going to be living, like I thought I should live. But that to me is about confidence at a different level, trusting confidence in something greater than yourself, something much bigger and more powerful, because that's I find when I am feeling that confidence, actually the confidence is not my confidence.
Yeah.
It's the confidence that I'm actually okay because there's something bigger than me that's controlling me, looking after me and guiding me. And when I let go to that, things work out better. But when I'm thinking I have to do it this way, then it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And saying this, I remember that was ages ago when I was working in Ireland that was very early stage. I was working in the shop and I was getting frustrated with many things. And I remember saying to my boss, I was like, no, I need to work in the office now. I don't like this job, even though like there was no actually way for me to get the job in the office. But I was like, no, I'm getting the job in the office. And it was maybe like 6 months or so, and I got this job in finance that I've never worked before. And it kind of like came to me. I didn't really do much to, well, I put the application to the recruiter, but there was no way I could actually get it. So it was
Mm.
interesting.
So it's like the impossible happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
is some
But it's,
kind of conviction, and yeah, this is
yeah.
what I see myself, and then everything eventually will align. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean that before that happened, I didn't have so many doubts, because there were times like I left that job in the shop, and then it took me a while to kind of like find a way and everything, but and then I was doubting myself if that was the right decision or not, whatever
Mm.
it turned out
Mm.
it was.
Yeah. And it goes back to what you said. Sometimes we need to maybe just step back, isn't it?
Hmm.
And so that self-doubt and anxiety that we're carrying and thinking that, oh, I can't do it, we're not good enough, or nothing happens to me. Maybe sometimes we just have to learn to let go and trust that there's better. Let go of that relationship, that job, wherever, and
Hmm.
allow the good things to come in. But if you're in your head and you're worried and stressed all the time, then you can't see it. But when you allow yourself to, okay, think, well, maybe what if there's something better or
Hmm.
different? It's just that one question you ask, isn't it? And then things start to open up
Hmm.
for you. And it doesn't always come easy, you're absolutely right. But maybe that just you shifting away from that rigid place of thinking and being more open can bring in more opportunities.
Yeah, What advice would you give to a younger woman, maybe,
Mm,
that have those doubts about if I think many women, I'd say it's like a societal push,
mm,
especially when it comes to the age,
mhm.
because after you're 30, you're kind of like, "Mm-mm."
You're done. You're dead. No, but you're old. Yeah. I remember my daughter, she's like, that old person, no, mommy. I'm like, what? That person's only in their 30s, they're old. Yeah. And when you get to 40 and 50 and 60, you're definitely ancient. um, you see, that's the thing. I think it's going to be difficult personally to advise younger people because in that stage, they're so set in terms of their thinking because they think that you're older, you don't know anything. That
Mm,
they just believe they look more towards their parents for advice or maybe like a celebrity or role model. So, but I would just say that if they were listening, really to for them to focus on what that they're good at, their skills, whether it's art, music, to be able to spend time around the people that they really love or care for them, family, friends, and to feel, to trust their body and their instinct. So when something doesn't feel right inside of you, or when there's a thought in your head that says, I'm not feeling good about this, or this isn't right, then that's you starting to trust your intuition to know that this situation or this experience is not good for me. Even if I'm feeling pressured to do it, it's not okay because something inside of me tells me it's not okay. I think that's a good way to start.
mhm.
And you?
Yeah, um, I would agree with this, but when it comes to the age, I know women that like every year they nearly like crying and everything because they're getting older.
Mhm,
What I realized over the time, like, why would I actually even worry about that if I cannot change it? Nobody
mhm,
can change it. This is one of the
mhm,
things that it's impossible to change.
mhm,
Time will
mhm.
pass anyway. So why would
Yeah,
I cry about it? Uh, I should rather enjoy it. Like, okay,
yeah.
some the fact is some of the doors will close with the age.
Mhm,
For example, having a kid, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
that is something that if you didn't address at certain point, it might not be available to you anymore. And that's okay.
Mhm, mhm,
I think instead of just putting the energy in fighting of like, oh, I need to be this or that, maybe we should just
mm,
accept it.
yeah, yeah. It's hard, but yeah, actually, I think eventually when you do accept that this thing wouldn't happen again, maybe I'll never have a child, or maybe I'll never get married. It's not easy. It's painful, but
Hmm.
I suppose but the acceptance means that then there's opportunity for other things to come into your life as
Hmm.
well.
Hmm. And I think maybe we will be more confident if we realize what we can control in life and what we cannot,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
because
I
things
think
like
that's a
that
good.
definitely you cannot control.
Yeah.
And then, okay, what are the other areas which I can rework that will bring me
Hmm.
some kind of satisfaction?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a good way to end, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Good way to end today. That was deep. It's
Yeah,
very deep. Yeah.
I like that. I hope everyone will like it too.
Yeah, yeah. I
We
really
highly,
enjoyed it.
highly encourage you also to share your ideas because obviously we want to give you the value. We're trying to kind of navigate through our creativity and intuition of like what we would like to hear, but
Mhm.
obviously we're very open to anything. If you have any suggestions, just let us know and we can talk about it if it's like something that you think we should talk about, like in women's life or health wise, mental well-being wise, whatever it is, we can talk about it.
Yeah, and also we're still with launching our group program, group coaching, which may or may not happen this year because of time and other circumstances, but we definitely, it's still going. So we'd also be interested in terms of maybe what if you were going to join the program, maybe what are some of the topics that you would like us to cover as well. I know I'm just ad-libbing here, but it's just really to just get your feedback in terms of what would, or even individual coaching with us. If you wanted to get coaching from myself or Sylvia, what would you like to be coached on, and kind of what help do you need? And please don't hesitate to get in touch with us, any one of us.
We don't bite usually.
Yeah, we don't bite. Yeah, and we don't mind if you choose one or the other, to get support, because we really would love to hear you. Or if you are working for an organization that would like training, we do a lot of around health and well-being, stress management, resilience, etc. So please get in touch as well, and we can give you more information.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
And watching.
Thank you.